Well, we told you so, but we're not gleeful about it. Disney even now knows that Star Wars is a very damaged brand on Disney+. That's not to mention that, well, Star Wars is not in movie theaters, and it won't be until 2026. But even on the flagship streaming platforms that are Disney Plus and Hulu, you're not going to find a whole lot of Star Wars. In fact, it's so weak that when Disney was trying to find a channel for it, they said, "No, I don't think so." Hello, folks, and welcome back to the place that is jolly having a good time every single day, streaming to you from somewhere sunny USA, right out of the studio that Disney is quickly trying to locate. Triangulating upon us? Well, don't worry, Disney. We're right here on YouTube every single day, 3 times a day. And folks, we only ask that you click the like button as we bring you the knowledge you need when it comes to Star Wars and what's going on with a Disney company that is hesitant and reticent, well, to put Star Wars out there all on its own, all on its lonesome. Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy's baby needs training wheels, and those training wheels just happen to be called Kevin Feige. We've got a panelist who might disagree a little bit. It's going to be a deep dive of conversation. You're going to love this, folks. Bring on the panel, and here we go. Disney is doing exactly what we told you they would be doing. How is it we know this ahead of time every single time? Well, folks, that's why you come here. Take a look at this out of Deadline. Disney Plus adding 4 more always-on streams, an expansion of live programming push. Now, we told you, if you watch this channel, we literally told you this was exactly what they were going to do, and they've done it. Why have they done it? Well, they might not say exactly in Deadline, but we told you, and we'll tell you again. It's because Tubi, the little free streaming service out of Fox, is at the edge, at the verge, and has in the past beat Disney Plus in ratings. And so Disney is desperate to try to stop that. So they're creating their own live channels, which is essentially creating cable all over again, birthing cable back into existence. And so what are they doing? Well, they started off with ABC and they started off with children's programming, but now they've got more. There's a very fascinating thing about this that I want us to all look at. This is out of Deadline by Dade Hayes, and it's from yesterday. It says, after dipping a toe into the continuous live programming waters last month, Disney Plus is adding 4 more live channels. The new offerings, HalloStream, which will go away after Halloween, we presume, and we'll switch over to probably a holiday thing, although they'll rename it. Hits and Heroes. Folks, that's one we need you to remember, okay? Hits and Heroes. Hold on to that. Throwbacks and Real Life expand on the 2 launched in August, ABC News and Disney Plus Playtime. In announcing the expansion, the company took pains to describe the channels as playlists and streams, avoiding the acronym FAST, industry shorthand for free ad-supported streaming television. Why? Because they don't want to be directly compared to Tubi, which will probably still beat them. One obvious reason for that is the channels are not free and can only be accessed by subscribers to Disney Plus. Although we have to say at $1.99, which is $2 for the next 3 months, you might as well call this sucker free. The overall FAST marketplace has boomed in recent years, becoming a multi-billion-dollar segment. Though subscription plans or players have largely been reticent about mixing messages to paying customers until now when they're being defeated. They'll do it real fast then. It says Disney is adding the new channels for U.S. subscribers only as it gets set to raise prices for Disney Plus, Hulu, and select bundles on October 17th. But of course, they will only raise those at the same time they discount it through a promotion that gives it away almost for free. The Disney Plus Playtime and ABC News streams have drawn more than 10 million hours of streaming in the U.S. since launching in early August, the company said. The company also noted early signs of overall engagement lift amongst subscribers who watched them. In other words, cable worked. Now, let's go to the description of what this is, okay? This really matters. Remember we said, don't forget Hits and Heroes. Don't forget Hits and Heroes. We'll tell you why right now. In describing the 4 new channels, Disney described them as, quote, seasonally themed content from across the Disney Plus catalog. HalloStream focuses on Halloween. Who would have thought? Hits and Heroes serves up a compilation of action-packed stories from marquee brands and franchises, including Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. Here's what I want to bring forth to the audience, and if you've been paying attention to the Chiron down below, you might have noticed it. Gentlemen on the panel, I say to you that the reason that they're calling it Hits and Heroes is because they could not put out a Star Wars channel and it survive on its own. Nor could they release a Marvel channel and not release a Star Wars channel, because that would have made Star Wars and Lucasfilm look bad. So the only way to get around that is hits and heroes. Combine Marvel and Star Wars into their own channel and hope and pray that people will click it and watch it, despite Agatha and Acolyte giving them every reason not to. Panel, your thoughts. The idea that Disney could not just do a Marvel channel. They couldn't just do a Star Wars channel. They combined them together, and probably to hide the fact that nobody would have watched the Star Wars one. What do you guys think about that? Or am I off base?
I think you're a little off base here.
Oh, no! Salty.
Well, so Disney Plus already has sections for Marvel and Star Wars. So like there's a place to go where if you want to watch Star Wars content, it's all on there. If you want to watch Marvel content, it's all on there. The thing about these streaming channels, I mean, they're basically just mimicking what Amazon's been doing for a while now, as Lou Wasserman's Ghost poignantly pointed out. The idea here is that the way in which you judge a successful online content delivery system is watch hours, right? YouTube is all about keeping people on the platform as long as possible, and that's what Netflix also is really focused on. And so Disney, now that the shine on their IP has dulled a little bit, they're trying to figure out how can we keep people on our streaming service longer. And the simplest solution to that is these live stream channels. And they're ad supported, so it's another revenue stream, et cetera, et cetera. But they can also advertise like their own upcoming shows and those ads and stuff like that. And Tom pointed out that like there's a certain kind of value to advertising in the sense that it tells the viewer who, if they are never exposed to commercials, like, JT said with YouTube Premium, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what specials are being run. You don't know what new products are out there to be bought. You're just kind of like living in sweet, sweet oblivion, right? So when it comes to like new original series for Disney, if people are watching these streaming channels and they can interject, commercials and stuff like that for their upcoming shows, they can then create a more sticky kind of like way to keep people subscribed, because they now know that there's like something coming down the pipeline that they might want to watch. And when it also comes to Marvel and Pixar and Star Wars content, they only have a finite amount of those before they start like repeating, right? So like if you combine them all together and you're able to vary things up a little bit, it becomes less boring for people. So they're offering a little bit more variety.
There's another reason to put them together, because if they stood alone, they'd be competing with each other. And Disney wait. They would be subject to the question, which franchise did you pay too much for, Bob?
No,
which
but
did you ruin the worst?
Well, hold on. Let me just say this.
Okay.
All right. So when you give people too many options when it comes to these free streaming channels, you get the same doom scrolling problem where it's like, which one do I choose? When you combine these things together and you give people fewer options to watch, the chances of them sitting down and actually watching them greatly increase.
Which is basically where I was going.
Yeah. So it's not so much about like, oh, we're afraid that people won't watch these channels. It's more about, okay, how do we consolidate these things to make it easier for our users to watch, to stay on the app longer, to watch the stuff longer. So I think it's more of a practical decision to combine all these stuff into one channel, rather than admitting that like, oh, people aren't going to watch this, or they're going to watch one over the other, like wherever the case may be.
So let me muck it up a little bit. Okay. So here's why I'm not yet fully convinced. Here's my reasoning. I wonder if there is a fear that Nielsen or Luminate may begin charting and putting out the ratings for these channels individually, so that they can get a comparison of these versus Tubi versus Roku, whatever. And I wonder if that was part of the calculus, was we don't want to have this happen where Nielsen does a new gauge and suddenly it shows that there's a Marvel channel and it's decimating the Star Wars channel, or that all that's being beaten down by whatever. That's what I'm thinking.
What I was saying. Because, when you said the whole object is to keep people watching, but the object in the case of Disney Plus is to talk new people into watching and then keeping watching, because they haven't got enough members to make their promise come true, no matter how they massage the numbers. So
I don't know if I agree with that, because they do have like a multi-million user base. The whole point of a streaming service is to minimize churn, which is the people who unsubscribe.
right.
It's not so much about getting new people in; it's about keeping the people that you got. So I think that like when it comes to Pro's point, first of all, Nielsen, like, unless Disney releases their numbers, Nielsen's never going to be able to accurately measure that stuff, right? So basically, like, you can control essentially like what information gets out there. Go ahead, Culture.
No, just unless the customer actively turns off the Nielsen tracking, every single Disney Plus account comes with Nielsen tracking built in and turned on.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's an awkward pause here, everybody. There's an awkward silence. I feel like I need to put these two together.
Why are silences awkward?
I'm sorry, Matt.
Why?
I'm sorry, Matt.
Well, no, it's like Disney releases these numbers like for Agatha and for the Acolyte and stuff like that. Like, how often do you hear Nielsen coming out and saying like like what these actual numbers are? Because nobody knows how Disney counts a view, right? Like how do you, like, what are the metrics that Nielsen's actually like measuring, especially when it comes to streaming? So like if they're looking at how many people are watching streaming, it's like, well, Nielsen's for a specific show. Like, you have to know like how many people are watching a show to gauge the interest to set the advertising rates. But if they're tracking a streaming channel where there's multi-variant types of content on there, how do you measure whether or not that's a success? It's just like people tuning in because like they want to watch something that they don't have to choose.
So
I'll
due to the
if
restraints of time.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, due to the restraints of time, we're going to have to wrap up this conversation. I would love to come back to it. My thought on this is that Disney can measure it in views publicly. Advertisers measure it how many times the ads get played, and the ads get played based on watch hours, and that's what Nielsen measures. Jonas, put a bow on it. I don't want to cut you off. Put a bow on this conversation, and then I don't want to miss out on everybody getting a chance to weigh in on the next one, because it's a big story, and we'll get to it. Jonas, go ahead.
Well, the only thing I was going to bring up is Disney's official metric is the same as Netflix's metric, total watch time divided by the available watch minutes. So this always favors smaller shows. So like a short, if somebody watched a short, they're much more likely to watch the entirety of that short, as opposed to a show that is an hour, and it gives people a lot more time to realize, hey, I'm not interested in watching this, or an entire series. So this favors shorter things that are brand new, so that they don't have to watch over the entire season in order to count as a full view. With Nielsen, I'm glad that at least Nielsen is somewhat separated from Disney. I'd much rather those ad rates be based on Nielsen's figures, Luminance figures, or even Samba's figures, because Samba is putting a little daylight between the two of them. I'm not sure if that's a great button, bro, but there you go.
Well, Nielsen is also under fire. I know Paramount is not happy with them, and some other companies as well. And Luminate is now a threat. So we'll see what goes on. It's a very fascinating space to watch. Pulling Hollyweird to the sensible center, the mainstream middle where money is made, is not easy, but folks, you make it easy to make videos each and every day, because sharing time with you is a great honor, and we never take it lightly. An attitude of gratitude every single time we have the chance to shine with you. Until the next time, we only ask that you click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, don't worry about paying any kind of tuition for this free class and how entertainment works. You are on scholarship. Highest IQ on the internet. That's you for sure. Until the next time we have the opportunity to spend time together, folks, we just ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.